Veronica presents the AI Repertory Theatre's production of New World Papers. Book 1, The Historian's Tale, by K.B. Shaw. Chapter 9. The Team.
Judging by the fare offered in the mess, it must have been lunch. After I got my food, I found Toby and a woman sitting at a table, with Sean seated across from them. Mind some company?
Not at all, boyo,
Said Sean.
Have a seat. We're just discussing a problem.
And what is that?
Being dead,
Said Toby.
Me and Mary... Oh, Fallon, this is Mary Jo Wilkinson. Mary Jo, this is...
The Fallon?
She rose and extended a hand.
Pleased to meet you.
The pleasure is all mine. Mary Jo was several annums older than the twins. Her blonde hair fell softly on her shoulders, and her demeanor seemed more serious than that of her companions. Toby pulled her back down and gave her a look before turning back to me.
We entered into contract some months ago. Open-ended, you know. Either of us could use our contract to claim the child.
I'm to have first right, of course.
I was aware of the code. I nodded my understanding.
But now he's dead. He doesn't have a contract.
Well, I mean, you can still contract him to father a child, can't you? There was an awkward silence.
There's more to it than that. Tell him, brother. I'm the eldest son and heir.
But he's dead, leaving me the heir.
You're dead too, brother, but no matter how you slice it, I'm a man without property.
It was a difficult situation. Having never had property myself, I can't say that I fully understand your problem. But I studied the code at the Mount and I appreciate all the implications. Is there a magistrate on the team? The twins laughed at the thought.
We aren't quite part of the system. Oh, the council would like to see us all dead.
Yet you worry about the details of contract code? I think we all have a lot of con searching to do. Are we for the code, for the council, or not? Lenore and Aiden were approaching the mess area as I was leaving.
Good day,
Said Lenore brightly.
Hello.
Said Aiden.
Did you find a place all right?
Yeah, I'm over that-a-way someplace. Pod G, I think. Thanks for showing me where the bedding was? Lenore looked between Aiden and me before saying,
The missus told me that you accepted the position of historian. Good. That's good. I'm supposed to help you. Get you set up. Show you around. Answer questions. That sort of thing.
I nodded. Thanks.
Aiden and I are just about to have a bite. Care to join us?
No thanks. I just ate with the twins.
Then let's get together when I'm done here.
Fine. I need to find supplies for my room. Meet you in about an hour?
And how will you tell when an hour's passed? Better pick yourself up a watch first thing. 1 hour.
She looked at a small watch pinned to her blouse.
It's 1:08 now. We'll meet by Mrs. Greer's office. Remember where that is?
Yes, ma'am.
She entered the mess. Aiden raised her eyebrows and flashed me a half grin before following Lenore to lunch. Lenore didn't seem to care for me too much. I admit that I'd had fantasies about her after that brief glimpse in the house. I drew her. I never drew Addie. I felt guilty somehow, as if I'd done something wrong, as if I'd betrayed Addie. I rubbed my temple. So many thoughts, images, sounds, and smells, all within the last 2 weeks. My heart was racing. I was awash with conflicting feelings. For nearly 18 atoms, I'd been secluded in the Mount. I was better educated than most people in New World, but I wasn't prepared to be among them socially. I took a deep breath and calmed myself down. Before I put the new watch in my pocket, I checked the time. 1:15. To my relief, I found there were small carts that could be used to transport personal supplies. I made my round of the shops, stacked up the cart, and ran it back to my pod. I was running late, so I just left it in the pod's common area. I figured it was safe. 2 o'clock. As I was sprinting back to the commons, I realized that I had been groggy the night before and really didn't remember where Mrs. Greer's office was. 2:05. I practically accosted the first person I met, a small woman with dark hair. "Where's Mrs. Greer's office?" The startled woman pointed and I took off running. Thanks! 2:07. I arrived before Lenore. I had time to catch my breath and straighten myself out. 2:08, 2:10, 2:30, 3:14.
Come with me.
Lenore passed by without breaking stride. I quickly caught up and fell into step.
I understand that you've met Mary Jo Wilkinson.
Yes, at the mess.
She'll be your assistant. She's an excellent administrator. She'll arrange your interviews, transcribe your work, organize your files, and procure whatever you may need in supplies or reference materials.
Sounds good.
You'll have an office in the library, which is right over here.
Mary Jo was already at a desk when we arrived. 7 people were sitting at a table. They rose as one when we entered. I nodded in their direction. They sat. Peculiar. Lenore led me into an office. Mary Jo followed us, closing the door behind her. With the blinds drawn, we had privacy.
As Mrs. Greer told you, your first task is to document the events at the house. I am your first interview. The others who stayed in the house are waiting in the library.
Lenore took a seat in front of the small table that served as a desk. Mary Jo sat off to one side with a pad and a pencil. I rubbed my temple again and took a deep breath. I pulled out the chair behind the table and assumed the position of historian.
Okay, where should I start?
Said Lenore. Mary Jo poised her pencil. I asked Lenore, what's she doing?
I'll make a record of everything that anyone tells you.
Why?
So you don't forget.
I won't forget.
Humph.
Lenore scoffed. I turned on her. I had had enough. Okay, I'll tell you where to start. And I launched into a detailed description of her actions from the day I had first glimpsed her through the map room door. I was even able to recall some conversation, which I hadn't before. So, what happened next? I asked, spitting out each word angrily. Lenore was impassive.
Mary, you may leave.
She waited until we were alone before she looked at me warmly and said,
Impressive.
She pulled her chair closer and put her elbows on the table.
Sorry if I've been cool to you. Most beautiful woman, you said.
I blushed. Had I really said that? I needed to learn to filter my raw memories before telling them to others. She put her hands atop mine. I felt uncomfortably warm. Her foot brushed mine.
So you desire me?
No, I just think you're beautiful. I could tell her foot was bare when it traveled up my leg, to my inner thigh. I had no control over my physical response. She moved her foot slowly across my groin. She looked at me seductively.
It feels like you desire me.
That's just a physical reaction. I can't control it. She increased the pressure and rhythm.
It's too hard to control, so don't try.
She began to massage my hands. This didn't feel right. It felt like she was testing me somehow. I flung her hands aside. I admit I thought about you, but I have feelings for someone else. Her face hardened. Her foot stopped moving, but she held it in place.
Aiden.
Yes! She curled her toes and increased the pressure. I groaned. She shoved her foot hard enough to send the chair, which didn't have wheels, skidding back. Oh, what the? I was doubled over in pain.
I care for Aiden very much. She's like a sister to me. If you ever cause her any pain, I'll...
She let the threat hang in the air before asking,
Does Mrs. Greer know?
No, not yet. Lenore pushed her chair back and assumed a cool demeanor. She gave me a curt smile and then began to recite her story for the record.
I glimpsed you as well before the door closed.
Her accounting was clear and concise, and it meshed with Aiden's. The next few hours flew by. The interviews told me a lot about people's perceptions of events. The accounts all differed, but told basically the same story. I considered if I should expand my interviews to those who had retreated to the quarters with the files, maps, and papers as we were leaving. I ran the numbers in my mind. There were a lot more people here than I saw in the house that first day. I decided that this was a question for another time. Now that I had the information, how should I present it? I was only familiar with the textbooks at the Mount. We didn't have histories, the service of today and the building of tomorrow and all that malarkey. I stepped into the library and looked at the shelves of paper files. I saw only a few books, and those were the same text you could find anywhere. Mary Jo greeted me.
Can I help you, sir?
I had never been called sir before. It made me uncomfortable. Just call me Fallon, please.
Yes, sir. Fallon.
Do you prefer Mary or Mary Jo?
To be truthful, I prefer Joe.
Well, Jo, do you have any ideas on how to write a history? She gestured toward the shelves.
These are all reports of one sort or another that we have compiled over the cycles. I guess they qualify as histories of a sort.
Oh, I'll start looking them over tomorrow. Walk you to the mess? When we reached the common center, it was abuzz with activity. Toby must have been watching for Joe, for he materialized out of the crowd, a broad smile on his face.
Mary, Fallon, the second group from the observation base has arrived. Randall and the rest should be here tomorrow.
Our numbers were swelling. I wondered how long we could last down here.
Come along. Sean's holding us a table, and we already brought food from the mess.
He took Joe's hand and pulled her toward the crowd before addressing me.
You coming?
No, I need to find the missus. Have you seen her anywhere?
She's in the mess with Aiden and Lenore.
Great. Lenore saw me as soon as I entered and excused herself before I arrived at the table. She passed me without a word or a glance. May I have a moment, Mrs. Greer?
Please, have a seat.
I took a position opposite Aiden and her grandmother. I don't know how to say this anyway, but straight up, and I apologize to Addie if I upset her. I could see Aiden tense up and frown. I swear my heart was going to explode. I have feelings for your granddaughter, ma'am. That got Mrs. Greer's attention. She looked at Addie, who was looking intently at me. I'm in the soup now.
Do you share these feelings, Addie?
Her body relaxed, and she smiled.
Yes, grandmother.
Are you asking my permission to?
Aiden came around the table and sat next to me.
We have already been together, grandmother.
She put her hand on mine. Mrs. Greer remained silent. She examined the two of us as if, together, we were something new, someone new.
You're of age, Addie, and so is Fallon. Neither of you has a contract. But given Fallon's situation, what does it matter?
She smiled and set both of her hands atop ours.
I was young once. You have my blessing. Surely we all deserve a little happiness, don't we? Now, young man, get yourself some food. We'll talk as you eat.
Thank you, Mrs. I told her about the interviews, my uncertainty on how to proceed, and my plan to look at the library reports in the morning.
We're putting a lot of trust in you, Fallon, and in you, Aiden, if you want to be his partner in this endeavor. Any objections, Fallon?
None, ma'am.
Be forewarned. It can strain, or shall I say test, a relationship to both live and work together.
Be it as it may.
Then it's settled. What do you think of Miss Wilkinson? She's an excellent transcriber, and we have found her most trustworthy. Can the two of you work with her as well?
We both said we could.
Great. Be in the library by 8. If you haven't done it already, Fallon, requisition an alarm clock.
I'll take mine.
I made the rounds, welcoming the members of the observation team. The twins raised their eyebrows when they saw Addie with me. I shot them a look before either could make some wise remark. Hey, Joe, I said. We need to be in the library at 8.
Who's Joe?
Asked Toby, who was confused when Mary replied,
See you at 8.
Joe?
Yes, I prefer it.
You didn't tell me?
You didn't think to ask.
Sean sat there grinning.
Should have been in the contract, maybe.
He said, trying to further stir up the beehive. Joe boxed his ears. Toby, in an effort to regain Joe's favor, followed suit. We slipped away early, making a stop at Addie's pod to pick up her belongings. She had a small one-room unit in Pod A. We gathered her things on a table in the meeting area. Then I searched for a cart, remembering I had another one waiting for me, laden with supplies. As I was loading the cart, Addie went next door and knocked. Lenore opened the door. I couldn't hear what they said, but Addie was animated and happy. Lenore's smile seemed forced, but she hugged Addie and appeared to wish her well. When Addie walked back to me, Lenore's smile faded. The three of us were in the library by 7:30. Mrs. Greer and Bedford arrived a little before 8. They seemed pleased that we were already waiting. Bedford closed the library door and locked it. This was something I had never seen done in the quarters. The shops all stood open for anyone at any time. Something was up.
Bring 2 more chairs into the office, will you, lad?
Before he sat down, Bedford also locked the office door and made sure there were no gaps in the curtains.
This is a critical moment for the movement and for New World. Aiden and Miss Wilkinson know much more about the movement than you, Fallon, But you have critical, new information that only the observation team knows. We have kept our secrets compartmentalized in case one of us was captured by the Council and questioned by those Fallon aptly called the Dark Men.
For instance, Aiden and most of the crew here in the quarters knew about the mission in the basin, but only a handful knew how we got there. Even fewer knew the details of the mission. No one except Mara and I knew about the emergency connecting tunnel between the quarters and the passages to below. All Lenore knew was where, in case of such an emergency, to find the envelope telling her where to tap. The people who built all of this appear to have been excellent planners.
The point is, only Bedford and I know our most guarded secrets. That is about to change. The three of you are going to become the guardians of the knowledge and assist us in bringing it to light.
A weight had descended upon our shoulders as surely as I had descended into the below. Addie clutched my hand.
So, lad and lasses, here's what we're thinking. Fallon is the historian, our first. Aiden, you're the researcher. Whatever Fallon wants or needs to know, you'll help him find the answers. Joe, you are the recorder, the archivist. And you'll find it to be an astonishing archive.
Fallon and Addie have already accepted their positions. What about you, Joe?
Joe looked at me and Addie, then Bedford, then Mrs. Greer as she considered the offer.
Yes, ma'am. I'm honored to accept.
Mrs. Greer clapped her hands together.
I am so happy. I've been waiting many cycles for this moment.
Bedford stood.
Congratulations.
We all rose and he shook our hands.
This is a historic day. A most historic day.
End of chapter 9. Next up, Revelation.